Hey, boys and girls, buffaloes and bunnies, mousies and kitties. Weather report for February 23rd, 2022. Why are we doing this again?
Well, I'll tell you what. Here's a nice little thing that may give you an answer to that. Look, if you look on the screen, that's something that Will Ignorant just kind of posted.
You posted it where?
Look on your screen.
Well, that was a very nice thing to say.
It really was.
It really is, yes.
Any day's a good day when you guys are. Wow, thank you.
Yeah,
well,
I'm wiping some tears from my eye.
Yeah, that's why we're doing it then. Okay, I was gonna quit until he said that.
I'm glad you came along, Wooly. You're a great storm spotter, so you add to this endeavor called the weather report.
Can I ask a question? Does anybody understand what Gurr is talking about? He's not talking about that test?
Yeah, that test
Pine Creek took and Jefferson.
Yeah,
is that what he's talking about? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but then
political compass.
That political thing. Yeah.
I got bored and I quit.
You fell asleep.
I fell asleep during the test, but I came up with I figured out what Gurr is. So
yeah, so you don't even have to take the test, Gurr.
Yeah, I've got you pegged. I told you an email.
A shit bum, or what did you come up with? No.
Well, I was gonna call him a Nazi, but I couldn't. I didn't think that quite landed hard enough, so I decided to call him a communazi.
Communazi, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that sums it up. I don't know. Anyway, so Home Depot employees, we were talking about qualifications to go to work for Home Depot.
Yes, we were talking about that. Yep.
And you said you had a Home Depot.
Well,
story.
you were talking about how they behave, basically, right?
Right.
And most of the employees. Well, I went in there one day and I was buying a whole bunch of bags of concrete, right?
Yeah.
And I think I'd loaded, probably like 20 of them on my truck, right? Which is, right, that's a lot. And I had 3 or 4 employees sitting there, right beside the pallet that I was taking the stuff,
watching you
and watching me. Yeah. All 4 of them watching. No, exactly. You haven't heard the best part, right? As soon as, so they stood there and I didn't say anything, right? I wanted to basically test them to see, okay, will they actually come over and help me or will they just stand there, right? They stood there the whole time. I loaded all 20 of them, right? And then one of the guys walks over and asked me for a receipt to make sure that I paid for them, right?
Oh, my God.
Want to talk about fucking wigging out. I flipped out on the guy, right? I was basically kind of like a Karen almost, right?
Yep.
But yeah, I went fucking crazy. I said, "You fucking kidding me? You want a receipt after 3 of you fucking guys sat there and watched me load those things on? Said you could take my receipt and shove it right up your ass." And I went and got the receipt. I think it was on the seat of my truck. I grabbed it, I brought it over, and I said, "Here, take this and shove it up your ass." Wow. That guy, he was fucking petrified. He stood there like in complete shock.
Was he like a teenager?
No, they weren't young at all. They were
just
30s, 40s at least. Yeah,
so
none of them were young kids or anything. But oh my God, when he asked me for that receipt, holy shit, I went crazy. So I was so fucking mad. Yeah.
We decided that to be a good Home Depot employee, you have to be able to recognize whether or not a customer needs help. And if he doesn't need help, you swarm him, like 3 or 4. You start asking him, "What do you need? You know, what can I show you?" And if he does need help, you have to be able to outrun the customer. Because I swear, when I've needed help, I've seen a guy in the aisle, you know, where the little screw or bolt that I needed was. And I started to walk toward him, and he turns around and starts moving away at high speed.
Yeah, he runs away. Yeah.
Yeah, so I bring a taser every time I go to Home Depot so that I can tase them.
There you go.
I can stop them in their tracks. Because
Ger's gonna start calling me Karen now.
Apparently, he thinks you're a Karen.
You are a Karen.
Yep.
So John Maddox had Perry Marshall on, the $10 million prize evolution 2.0 guy. And
something tells me that's all just a scam.
Yeah. And I watched a pretty extensive interview by Perry Marshall. I watched half of it so far. It's 2 hours long. And then I looked at his paper that John recommended, and Perry Marshall doesn't really have a whole lot to say other than he's an engineer. There's information, and of course that's right up John's alley. And we don't know how the information got there. And there's, how did he put it? He said, we don't have any example of information being created naturally. And somebody said that in chat, and I said, no, wait a minute, we do. Life is an example of information that got created naturally. But it's the only example we have, and that's what they keep going to. And he says, we don't have any example of information. Yeah, okay, Perry Marshall said it a little different. He said, we have no example of information, or how the hell was something about information
being created naturally?
Created by a mind. You know, it has to be created by a mind. So anyway, so
and
he
wait, say that again.
Okay. He says that we only have examples of information that is created by a mind, by intelligence.
See a lot of questions on the right.
Intelligence. Yeah. Okay, that
I didn't hear.
I don't agree with that, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the example we have of information. Okay, we have no example. I forget how he put it. He put the only example we have of information being created is with a mind. And I said, no, the only example we have other than life of information being created is when humans create it. And so do you think humans created information? And lo and behold, that's the first item. He offers five possibilities for life, how life was created. And the first one is that humans came back in time and created themselves. The second one is aliens did it. The third one he calls random chance. And the fourth one is there's some new fundamental law of the universe that creates life. And the fifth one is God did it. And he sides with God did it. And he has admitted that he was a creationist all of his life. So anyway, I couldn't find anything in his paper other than a lot of really good links to other papers that was worth looking at. So I went through his whole paper really fast because it was too painful to read.
Did you see chat? Chris Peacock put in a link, and he said play this and he put some timestamps on there. So, I don't know.
Got it set up and queued, and in case you want to go ahead and listen to it.
Scott? Okay.
I do.
Yeah, you can go ahead and play it.
Okay. This is on Standing for Truth. And it's got George Bond and somebody, I can't read their name because it's being covered up.
Those guys are trying to convert Jackson Rowe.
Okay, now it's flashing. Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's flickering.
That is weird. Okay, don't stare at your screen. You might have epileptic seizure.
Yeah, there we go. Stop.
A lot of questions on the right.
Yeah, let's get right into these questions.
Are y'all ready to listen? I heard somebody call my name. Okay.
No, you're good.
Mike, I appreciate that feedback. George.
Thanks, George, by the way. Not ours.
like, I'm not sure if you can see the screen. What I'll do is put these up on the screen for us to kind of see and read together. So this one comes in from Chris Peacock, and he asks, at Standing for Truth, if dinosaurs and mammoths died out at roughly the same time, why have all dinosaurs turned to rock, but we are finding mammoth bones and also with fur and all organs?
Well, it's because dinosaurs and mammoths did not die at roughly the same time. Dinosaurs mostly died in the flood. And mammoths were post-flood. So,
What?
and by the way, that is one of my criterion.
Did I hear an objection?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I know it's like
Joking.
Yeah, I feel like a cart full of clowns need to roll around and be hitting themselves with hammers and throwing pies in the audience or something. It's whenever somebody says something like that, it's just so ridiculous.
So we have mammoths that are 30,000 years old that have hair and muscles, and we dug them up in permafrost. But he's saying that because the dinosaurs died 6,000 years ago and the mammoth died, what do they? When did they think they died?
I don't know, but at any rate, according to their little model, even with those conditions, they would have died at roughly the same time because we're talking geologic time.
Right.
So, yeah. Shall I continue?
Was the flood 6,000 or was it?
Oh, no,
4,400.
Creation was at 4004 BC.
No. Okay. So the flood was 4,400 years ago, right?
No,
no, that would have been more like, 4,000 years ago. Yeah.
The flood, right? Yeah.
So that's when the dinosaurs died, and none of the dinosaurs were preserved. Why?
And Jesus was 2,000 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yep.
Never mind the fact that there were all these Egyptians around during that 2000 some odd BC that the flood would have taken place.
Yeah. Does he say any more about this?
There were a whole civilization. I mean, there was a whole civilization. There were Mesopotamians, from either Assyria or Sumeria or Babylon. There were groups all around.
And ancient Chinese.
Ancient Chinese, yeah.
Yeah.
Chinese.
So you want to play a little more?
Sure.
For determining what sediment is flood and what is post-flood is whether the fossils are fossilized or whether they're bones. Dinosaurs are practically all fossilized. Now there's some soft tissue out there, which most of us know about. And you probably had people speaking about that before. I probably mentioned it too. I don't know. But anyway, but most of the bones of dinosaurs are hard rock. I have some myself. And the mammoths are just bone. I have a tusk, part of a tusk. It's just a tusk. It's not fossilized. So yes, that's the case. But they didn't live at the same time.
Danny Kins.
I could probably answer these.
They didn't live at the same time. No shit, huh?
Yeah. So
wow.
So anyway, so it took. So when does he think the mammoths died? Just a couple weeks ago, or what the fuck? Because
I would say so.
How did the dinosaur bones get mineralized in that short a time, or did the flood have some? Maybe the flood had some magical properties that it mineralized faster.
Yeah, pixie dust. Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not a very good answer, Mr. Ord.
Yeah. And did you hear standing? That was a great answer.
No, that was a
Did you hear that? That's what he said.
Well, it was an answer.
That was precious. Oh my
holy
Lord.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, that
shit is right.
That is a gem. So what is the timestamp on that?
It starts at 108 and it goes to 112.
Oh my goodness. I have to I have to land a marker on that.
That was a great question too by Chris, huh? That was
a
really
great
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to continue the last 3 minutes, or?
So Nestle has a point here. So wouldn't the mammoths have died during the flood too? Well, in fact, all of them except for the 2 that were on the ark.
Right.
All of
and
them.
according to the creationists, it's the ancestor to both mammoths and elephants, I would think.
So
apparently it was a baby, 2 babies.
Chris says he has another question at 112. So.
Ooh, okay. Do you want to let it run for 2 minutes or just start there?
Well, let's hear what they got to say in between. So go ahead.
One at a time.
Sure. Yeah, we can go to. Do you want to go to this next one, Mike, from Redefine Living? I've also got separate questions in a document too, but I can put this one up on screen, Mike, if you'd like.
The reason why I suggest this is because time is rather short.
Right. Right.
Do you want me to do that, or do you want to give the questions yourself?
You know what I'll do, Mike, is I'll put them up on screen. I'll read them so the audience or anybody who might just be listening rather than watching can hear them. And we'll do a speed round. We'll kind of just go question after question after question, rather than me and George, give our additional comments. We'll kind of just do a speed round with you. So this one comes from George. I'm guessing that's your phone call there, brother. So this one comes in from Redefine Living. He says, "Standing for Truth question. Are you familiar with the recent genetic study that puts the mammoth living back just a few thousand years ago?"
Well, I'm not familiar with the recent genetic study.
Okay, I just Danny-kinsed it because there have been discoveries of like pygmy mammoths, I think, up on some far north island somewhere.
St. Paul Island. St. Paul Island.
Maybe that's the one that just died out about the time the Sumerians were coming into.
Yeah, right. Well, they think closer to maybe 200,000 years ago, but they don't know. So
to answer Icarus's question, he's writing in there. It says the video sound is weird, and that's because it's coming through Scott's mic. That's why.
Okay. Well, I could run the same.
So it's a bad sound? Okay. Well, right now.
Well, I think he's just saying it sounds weird. I think it's okay. It's just it sounds different because that's not normally how we play videos. But
are you at one?
We're at 1:11 and 10 seconds.
You want me to pick it up and see if the sound is better?
Sure. Yeah, I think so. I don't want to bug our audience.
Okay.
So I'm going to stop sharing.
Okay. And I will share. I love sharing with my friends. Whoops.
It's good to share.
Okay. So something is, hold on a second. We got to make a slight adjustment here. Okay. I love sharing. Okay. Let's see if I can play this without any tragic Chrome Tourette's. Okay.
A high mutational load, which would make sense given, I think.
How's the sound?
Great. Sounds good.
Okay.
Excellent.
The conditions that they lived in.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Follow-up question from Chris Peacock. He just he thanks you for your answer, and also gives his appreciation for the live Q&A. He says if dinosaurs died pre-flood, they couldn't have gone on the ark. Well, Mike, wouldn't the majority of dinosaurs that we find in the fossil record, I guess you could say, aren't they testimony of the global flood itself?
Yes, they're common flood sediments.
Right. And the mammoths would be post-flood ice age related conditions. So totally different conditions as well, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so here's the next question that comes in from Jackson Rowe. And this is a question that came in a lot, and it's also a common argument or criticism on this topic. You actually addressed it in your presentation, and I really enjoyed that. You addressed a lot of these objections in your presentation, very thorough, Mike. But since it's constantly brought up, we might as well, I guess, address it here in the Q&A. So Jackson Rowe asks, if there were millions of mammoths after the flood with a slow reproductive rate, how were there millions? As in, how can we get all of those mammoths in just...
Yes, it's a common question.
Yeah.
Their gestation period is, I believe it's 21 months. And yeah, they would start off slow. It would be pretty slow, but then they would mushroom by geometric progression. And the best way is, elephants are very similar. And so I just simplified it and said, well, how fast do they double? Well, you go to the preserves in Africa, I had 3 possibilities. So I took the fastest one, where they double about every 10 years, because that would probably be the doubling rate for quite a while after the flood, or probably all through the Ice Age, because there'd be, first of all, after the flood, as the animals spread out.
Because the Ice Age was such a nice climate to live in.
Yeah. I was thinking that myself. Yeah.
You know, I'll bet under that stream in the description is a link to the paper where he gets all his corroborating data that shows all of these population rates, starting with 2000 BC or whatever.
Well, let's see. We got some presentations on standing for truth.
I just can't believe that these people believe this bullshit.
I'm seeing.
Echoing.
Yeah, we got echo.
I'll be back. I'll be back.
Yeah, can you guys just... I just can't imagine that they believe this garbage. Like, the shit that they spew. It's just amazing.
Icarus, you're killing me, by the way.
So what do they think about the KT boundary, where we think the asteroid impact affected the whole world, where it's like a little line of radiometric stuff?
I forget what their excuse is for that one. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever heard that question asked of anybody, any of the young earthers. That would be a good
I don't
question.
recall much about a KT boundary and the creationist fever dream that is YEC.
Yeah. I'm sure they just
closest
write
thing
it off.
to a global event at the time of the dinosaurs. So, I mean a specific time, I guess.
Germania is a genius. He combined cabbage and garbage and came up with gabbage. And I think that's what we should call this stuff from now on, is gabbage.
That's a
Gabbage.
Gabbage.
It's gabbage.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think we'll call him a communazi anymore, because he came up with such a good name.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
There's an improvement on it.
I think he's just trying to make fun of my accent, I believe.
And,
Okay.
Maybe he is.
Another thing is, like, the creationists don't understand there's more time between the layers.
Yeah.
There's more difference in each layer than
This whole
all the
this
layers
bullshit
together.
with geologic sorting, there's, like, if you look at sandstone deposits, they have all sorts of different shapes. Some of them are extremely rounded, meaning that they rolled around a lot. And some of them are very angular, meaning that they didn't. There's a whole range of sizes. There are, like, coarse grain sandstones below and above fine grain sandstones. And somehow they believe this massive flood that lasted for like 3 months, where everything was turning around, built all of those different layers of sandstone and then compressed them. And some of them got compressed into marble and fucking, metamorphic rocks. And other ones basically were filled in with sediment, all these different kinds of sediment from different compositions of seawater or of water. So you can tell, like the sandstone is not the cement that glues the grains together is not just one kind. There are many different types depending on the composition, and that's why you end up with different colors and different looks to the rock. And all of that happened during this chaotic sloshing around where there were these tsunamis and fucking volcanic eruptions and
how do we even see these
moon.
layers? The creation doesn't even account for why we can see all these layers and out in the open.
Well, there are various places where the
Like it should be
layers
buried
are
if it was
out
from-
in the open. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they were laid down and then they were carved out with another tsunami that came in and carved that part out so that you could see the layers. And then they bent and then they got carved out again. And I don't know.
Just saying they ignore so many different things, events that have to happen to even see these layers and even not just lay them down.
Paleosaurus.
I would just like to make a comment to Gur. I hope you're streaming tonight so I can come on and kick your ass.
Paleosaurs.
Yeah, I hope you're streaming tonight so I can come on and see David kick your ass, Gur.
Is he making fun of you again now, David?
No, he's stuffed.
But
he'll
continue now that I made a comment about it.
What's a paleosaur? Does anybody know? I know CRISPR must, but I've not really heard that word before. If I have, I've forgotten about it.
Soils?
So it's a soil?
I think so. But let's see. In soil sounds okay. Let me look it up.
Do we want to go back to your video?
Which one? Oh, mine. Oh,
yeah. You were still playing it when you started echoing. So yeah.
Yeah, I have to rearrange myself again. Well, the thing is, when I start now, if I play a Google video and then I start talking, that's when I echo. So
Yeah.
I figured that much.
Okay.
I can play videos just fine without having echo. So if you
Yeah,
want me to do it,
I've got a Mac and a different setup. Well, yeah, let's see if your video is loud enough. So
I needed the link. Timestamp.
Copy video roll at current time. I can do that. I'll put it in private.
Apparently, Sean Mock is a little dissatisfied with something. Hopefully, it was a joke or something. But
who's Sean Mock? Oh,
he comes on here occasionally.
Have you ever refuted the magnetic pull changes in the rock within the Mid-Atlantic Ridge?
I'm ready.
Okay. Whoops. We're going back to that. Now we got to go to Top Dog. Where's Top Dog? Oh God, we look exactly like. Go ahead.
Okay.
First of all, after the flood, as the animals spread out from the mountains of Ararat, there would be very few predators. And secondly, there aren't any predators I know of that can take down a woolly mammoth. They might take down a baby. But, so I took the fastest rate. And so 10 years, you just hit a calculator every 10 years, you're up to millions very quick. So it doesn't take long.
That's a great point, Mike, especially from our position of what I like to call design diversity. The original created kinds would have been front loaded with genetic diversity that could be used for adaptation. After the flood, you have the elephant archetype, let's say, the elephant kind archetype. And this archetype or a subpopulation of it entering these ice age related conditions, you could have these pre-existing genes being turned on rapidly.
Sure. Yeah. That's right.
That's right.
A little bit I know about natural selection.
Brilliant.
Select for a woolly mammoth in a cold environment from the genetics in, say, an elephant kind pretty quick.
Right.
So,
yeah, pretty quick.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to diversify.
We can just make shit up.
Elephants, mastodons, mammoth, and something called a gomphothere. which is very similar to a mastodon. In fact, they used to call them mastodons, but because of some little something with the teeth or something, they call them gomphotheres. And these are all definitely post-flood. You can show this. In Europe, there was called in Ice Age 7, there was a straight-tusked elephant. So there was an elephant that lived in Europe during the Ice Age.
That's a great response. Great points.
Oh yeah, great point,
Mike.
yeah.
So this next question comes in.
How can a global flood researchers distinguish between? Who's asking that question? That next question. Standing? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that was a bunch of bullshit. I mean, they just kind of make up whatever they want, right? This created heterozygosity, they think, in two elephants, or basically two elephants on the ark, had enough created heterozygosity in them with 4 alleles per loci that they could basically adapt to any environment, including the Ice Age, just overnight, like apparently. And
the way they make it sound, it's as if, like, you know, they like taking a pipe and just stuffing it with tobacco,
right?
You know, and it's just stuffed with genes, and so all those extra genes get stuffed into the DNA. I guess they just pop out and make a mammoth.
And other than Minnesota mosquitoes, can you think of any fucking population that doubles every generation? You know, that where a population doubles. There's a problem with that. It's I forget what the technical term is for it, but there's a limit to the amount of grass you have, you know, and the amount
and the grass is already pretty much destroyed by briny water or salt water in its entirety, according to this idea of a flood. It's fantasy.
Yeah, the only population that doubles every generation is in this guy's mind, and is in his calculator. There is absolutely no population that is going to be able to maintain that and come up with go from 2 to millions within a few thousand years. It just isn't going to happen.
So when these guys have these kind of discussions, right? I mean, when it comes to the Bible, you know, I have no doubt that they, you know, truly believe in this, that of course, right? But when they start having discussions like this, I mean, come on, they have to know that they're just coming up with bullshit, right? I mean, or lying to themselves or whatever, or just outright lying, right? I mean,
I don't think they do.
I
think they actually, like, okay, there's this whole thing, and we
just make it up, though. They just make this shit up. I mean, I don't know.
They think they get their answers from like answers in Genesis and stuff. So then they're like thinking that's actual scientific research or something. So they think that's something authority or something.
Well, there's something really significant. Okay, number one, our brains are made of meat. So we have meat brains, right? And there's something that came up in a discussion last night where a guy named Lance Bush came up with the phrase epistemic shortcut. And we were talking about faith. And he came up with the idea of an epistemic shortcut. So when you, like, my example was that if you do a calculus problem, and it takes you 5, notebook pages to do the problem, and you come up with the answer, and the answer is 3.5, right? At the end of it, when you will walk around with the feeling that you know the answer to that problem, 3.5, okay? You will not remember how you got there. You won't remember all the steps. So you end up with something called an epistemic shortcut. And you have faith that your reason and your calculating ability got you the right answer. So what we do in terms of politics and everything that we believe is that we come up with a few one-off ideas, little basically factoids, and we put it together and we arrive at an intuitive guess at the right answer. And then we become attached to that right answer because we know that we had all these factoids that led up to it, right? So
it
you
wouldn't be
created,
faith anymore. It would be trust because it's
yeah, it's
evidence
trust.
for it.
Yeah, it's that version of faith. You trust in your own reasoning and evidence gathering abilities. So if you already believe in the Bible and you believe that God did it, you already know that in your heart, and you have that deeply embedded. All you need is a couple little tiny pieces of garbage, like this David Ord or this Michael Ord just put out, and you'll say, "Oh, now I get it. Now I get it. Now I have my epistemic marker or shortcut, and now I can trust in that." And then you build upon that idea, and you go further and further, and that's how you get stupid ideas. So,
it's half truths and stuff trick people to think that it's all true. So
yeah. Total aside, one of the creationists, Kevin Anderson, he did a lot of blathering on YouTube. He just died of COVID, I guess. COVID and complications. I wonder if he was vaccinated. That would be interesting to know. Anyway. And David Menton died too. I think his name was David Menton, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know much about Kevin Anderson.
Yeah, he was out there. I don't know if he wrote books, but he was out there in the circuit, and he was part of the whole show. And he died at like 65, pretty young, actually. So they lost 2 in the last couple months of their big talking heads. Anyway. So, what else? Yeah, we had a discussion about faith, and that was kind of interesting. And then there was this Matt Dillahunty discussion that I was looking at. Let's see, where the heck is that? Atheists. Yeah, okay, it was this one. So I don't know if you can see this or not. It was Atheists don't evaluate evidence for God correctly. And he had a guy calling in, and I think the ACA gives you copyright strikes, right? If you play their stuff, I think they're dickheads like that. So I'm not.
Yeah, that would be sad because we want to be able to go over what's being said. Like fair use, isn't there a fair use thing?
Yeah. Yeah, this guy says, well, first of all, he quotes this biblical passage. It's Corinthians 2:14, 1 Corinthians 2:14. The natural person does not accept the things of the Spirit of God, for they are folly to him. And he is not able to understand them because they are spiritually discerned. You don't discern them in the same way as you do other things. So anyway, so this guy's point was the natural man does not, let's see, beautiful things of God in Proverbs such as, this is a transcript. What does he say? It is possible that atheists have this inherent disadvantage at seeing the truth because their propositions and their attitudes prevent them from doing so. So that was his whole idea. And that's kind of
so there's something wrong with what you say, and there's something wrong with your attitude. Is that what he's saying? Basically,
his
suck
point
at
was
logic, and you suck as people.
If you don't presuppose Christianity, then you won't arrive at the truth of the matter unless you presuppose it. So you have to be a Christian in order to see that Christianity is true.
So we have a happy circle surfer there. He has this big circular way of thinking, and even though it's circular reasoning, he's just happy to surf that circle.
Yeah, it's a circle jerker is what it's called. I think it's a technical term for it.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I think I will link this in my description so people can take a look. It's only it's 28 minutes long, I guess. But
yeah, that's the thing that gets the hardest to tolerate among all the things you always hear is that well, you don't know how to think right because you don't have the Holy Spirit and you got a bad attitude towards things. Otherwise, you'd accept it. And it's like, no, maybe maybe these things aren't as true or real as you think they are, or in the sense that you think they are.
Yeah, one of the things we discussed last night is that, and this is my view on it, that there's a whole feeling and lifestyle involved in faith, in having faith. And it doesn't matter what religion it is. It could be Buddhism, it could be Christianity, it could be Islam. You will get the same feeling, this feeling of peace, and that you are doing the right thing in your life. You're at peace. You're not in conflict. And it's sort of a huge emotional package. It's a neurochemical cocktail that you get when you understand something, or you've quit searching for the answer, and now you have the answer. And then you rely on that in faith. And it's sort of also a giving up. Anyway, so that cocktail of, of stuff is what the Christians are really all about. It has nothing to do with evolution and science, and this creation is bullshit. It has nothing to do with the Bible. It is a feeling you get when you give yourself over completely to some framework or some way of life or way of thinking. And my point is that it is attainable without any of those beliefs at all, or without any conflict with your reasoning mind, or with science, or with evolution. You have that available to you, that basically that way of life where you're doing the right thing at the right time, and you're happy, right? So I mean, that's available to you. But these guys that have given themselves over to Jesus, they talk in the Bible about false idols. And I believe that Jesus and Christianity is a false idol. You give yourself over to that. And then not only do you give yourself, after you've given yourself over and you attain this spiritual, peaceful feeling, then you go ahead and you start filling it in with all kinds of ideas and reasons. And that's where you cross over into false idol territory. When you start adding, you add all the dogma to it, right? And then all of a sudden you're fighting with the guy next to you who arrived at the same peace only through Islam, or through Buddhism, or through atheism, or some other framework of ideas. Then you end up fighting it out about your ideas,
or through being a Baptist rather than a Presbyterian,
or a Catholic, right?
Within that institution.
I mean, and it just does not matter. I mean, if you really want to be happy for the rest of your life, my recommendation would be stop fucking thinking about shit and just live.
I thought you were about to break up into a song about getting an ugly wife or something.
Oh yeah, I was going to do that too.
Start contemplating like John does. John's always contemplating about our existence. Right? Isn't that his big thing?
Yeah. I mean, this is just good advice about how to live your life peacefully. You can just live your fucking life without driving yourself crazy on YouTube or arguing with relatives over Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, it just doesn't fucking matter. There's a way to live, right? But then if you're going to start thinking and doing science, well, then you got to fucking, behave according to science rules, which is reason and, wonder and, figuring things out that makes sense. These guys, they want to drag this religion into science, and it's just fucking silly. And it's because of how they interpret the Bible. It's because they believe that Jesus had this one-liner where he condoned Genesis. So if you don't believe that Genesis is fact, then you don't believe in Jesus, then the whole thing crumbles for him. I mean, it's such a fragile ideology.
Yeah.
That
ignorant is bliss. Ignorance is bliss.
I mean, I can just picture Mad Ducks, right? When he says that, I'm contemplating my existence. I can just see him like out in the backyard and laying in the grass and hold on.
I would think it's more like one of those laid back, long patio chairs or patio things that you lay on, and maybe a ball cap on and a beer.
Yeah.
I love to contemplate things over a nice dark beer.
Yeah, when I get tangled up and anxious at night, and depressed, and winter depression hits me, and I sit on a chair and I'm tired as fuck from working all day, and I start feeling bad, I do an exercise where I just let go and quit thinking. And within 10 minutes after you have done that effectively, you start feeling better. It's an amazing trick. And that's what religion is kind of about. It gives you this thing to have faith in, this thing that's outside of yourself that you can have faith in. And
as I was leaving Christianity, to take care of my anxiety, I practiced a couple of different kinds of meditation. And although I'd never believed in the idea of chi, I found it very relaxing.
Yeah.
At least just imagining,
it works.
Glowing lights going up through my,
chi
train or whatever, my chi train. And it really helped. It helped relax me, helped me feel better, helped me feel more pep, less despair.
Do you know why that is, Scott? It's because your mind is made out of meat. You're not a fucking computer. You're not a truth machine. You're a meat being. You're a fucking
I think my meat is more like Spam. A little too much salt.
I'm pure head cheese. And blood sausage. I ate a lot of that when I was a kid. You ever eat blood sausage?
I have never eaten blood sausage.
Damn, you're missing out. That's a good shit. There's not a lot of blood in it. Well, okay, you take a bunch of pig heads. Well, if you do it right, if you want to do it right.
When you say pig heads, you mean pig brains?
No. You cut the brain out and you cut the tongue out. And you put the head in a big pot.
Okay.
And then you boil it.
So it's all the jawbone muscles and stuff that
you boil a pig head. You boil a pig head for about 4 hours, and then you get all the bones out.
But you're going to have a lot of collagen too, which is good for you.
Oh yeah, and you mix it with rice. You get all the pig meat, and then you mix that with rice, and you add sage to it, and then you dump in a bunch of pig blood, and then you mix it all up, and then you put it in a casing, and you got blood sausage. And the amount of blood is actually probably as much as you're going to get in a rare beefsteak, but it looks black because the blood is, gets
non-oxygenated
out of the pig, right? Yeah. Anyway, and it's really some tasty stuff, and then you fry it up, and it's pretty good. I used to make
so you have to cook it at the right temperature, otherwise you're going to get some viruses and things.
Yeah. So back during my dad was on strike, or basically the steel union was on strike. So he didn't work for a whole summer, and we were really poor. So we got these rations from the government. Somehow they were giving out army, like World War II rations in like 1960. They had all these, they had this canned pork, and you open it up and it was like all ground up, but it tasted exactly like pig heads. Because pig head meat has a slightly more robust flavor than pork does. And so that's apparently what they were feeding soldiers, is boiled pig heads. I was horrified. Yeah, black pudding. Yeah, basically.
So in terms of the hierarchy of edible pig parts, blood sausage is higher than
pig
brains and tongues.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, brains and tongues. My dad never. He threw those away. We weren't into that shit. So we're just into pig heads. And my job was to get the blood out of the pig and stir it with ice so it wouldn't coagulate. That was my job as a 6-year-old and 7-year-old. My other job was tasting the fucking blood sausage when it was raw to tell my dad if he had enough seasoning in it. He wouldn't eat it. He made me eat it.
Mm.
And I was too young to, I was like, oh God, Dad wants me to help him. It's like, no, Dad's using you as a fucking guinea pig
Because he doesn't want pig flu or whatever, swine flu.
Yeah, right. He didn't want to eat the raw blood sausage himself, so I had to taste it. Well, I didn't die. He tried to kill me.
You did not. You are still kicking.
Everything but the oink. Yeah.
Whoops. I was going to show that.
Fuck, there's some place in Minneapolis that just opened where they have pigtails, and they're supposed to be really good at this restaurant. I don't think I'm going to do that. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that.
It's just a little trick, a little marketing thing, and it's just some pork dish.
Yeah. Yeah. If you've raised pigs, you don't want a fucking thing to do with their pigtails.
Yeah.
You just can't. Okay. What else was happening? Anyway.
Turned out to be a slow day, but we had a lot of little things.
Yeah, I suppose I should put the Maddox thing in here, right?
Sure.
Yep.
Don't want to be accused of not putting links out there to things.
Yep.
So you think it takes a long time to make a species?
Whoops. Oh, this is Dr. Joel Duff. That's what was playing. Let's see. I can't find Maddox. What happened to him? Oh, live interview. Okay, I'll put that out in the description. Yeah, I don't know. Should we maybe throw the link out, see if anybody wants to come in?
Let's do that. Let's have some interesting conversations.
Maybe we'll shoot it in the head early today.
What is the definition of species? Or is there multiple?
I wouldn't get caught up in that. I wouldn't get caught up in that. Okay, if you imagine, have you seen those species maps where they have, it looks like it's more like a lava lamp, where they have these big broad bands coming out? And there isn't like a little line that comes out. It's like a broad band and they split off, that sort of thing. So, I mean, getting caught up in the definition of species, it isn't necessary. You don't need a definition.
It matters what we want it to mean, I guess, kind of in its multitude of definitions, kind of.
It's like porn. You know it when you see it.
Saying like they have different definitions for the same thing, but we have to choose which one we're talking about.
Jeez, I had to step away for a second, and the first thing I come back, I had to step away for a second. The first thing I come back, and I hear you saying, it's like porn. Okay, what did I miss?
We're talking about species and the definition of species.
Jeez. Well, there's not just one. It seems like we have to choose, or we have to say out loud almost what we mean when we're talking about it.
Yeah, if you go out in the field and you're looking at beetles and you find two beetles that are almost identical, except you notice that one has a rounded, what is it called? Carapace. It's rounded, and the other one, it's more square. And then you look a little further and you'll find that one has like green iridescence and the other one doesn't. And then you'll notice that the antennas are a little bit different. Well, then you're going to give them two different names, and you're going to say these are two different species. But you don't mean anything other than that by it. And if you looked at them genetically, you would find a whole bunch of differences between their genes in these two populations, or between their genomes. You could find a certain percentage of differences. But other than that,
aren't there like spiders that look different if they're male and female? Well,
I mean, okay, if you take orange paint and green and red paint, or red paint and yellow paint, and you mix it together in a gradient, where does it become? Where exactly does it become orange or yellow? I mean, picking your spot. You don't need to have a fine definition of a species.
Because we have like horses, donkeys, and zebras that can breed together, in lions and tigers. They're different species, but they're still able to mate, make an offspring. I mean,
thank you, stupid horror.
She came in guns a-blazing.
I guess so, yeah.
So
Anyway.
what the creationists think of species is just can't mate.
Kinds. Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Well,
can't.
No, that's the idea of species not being able to mate is kind of a thing that you hear in scientific circles. It's just that's not quite true. So, like for instance, we talk about all these different species of Homo, but obviously they were crossbreeding.
Right.
So, are they really a different species? Maybe, maybe not. Some people are making a case that they're not.
Yeah, the two
Beatles trying to make clear we're helping the creationists and people that aren't scientifically literate to understand what we mean by species, so they don't get confused because we're like talking out both sides of their mouths or something.
The two beetles I talked about could very well mate if their chromosome numbers matched, and if most of the genes came together in such a way that they still had a viable organism, even though they're different. They're morphologically different. And you can see two different populations, so it just doesn't make any difference.
So species is basically whatever humans want to make it.
Oh,
that's
we
what
have a numbnuts alert. Numbnuts alert.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah.
I noticed that. Hi, John. Nice interview. Pointless, but nice. John is fairly good at interviewing people. He does that well. He should stick to being a host. Stop trying to say anything meaningful about biology. Anyway, I linked John's interview in our description, so it's worth checking out if you want to know about the $10 million prize. Oh, I was going to mention, I was going to do this.
Stupid whore NG. And why would we want to do that?
Do what?
Give John a wrench. And why would we want to do that?
No, we don't want to give John.
You think he gives wrenches out to atheists?
Well,
I don't think so.
Yeah, I just asked him for a wrench in his stream, and because I was going to link the paper, but no, he definitely not going to give him a wrench. Because he wouldn't get, if he gives me one, I'll give him one. Tit for tat. That's the way it works. Anyway, it works that way. Oh, what was I going to do? I was going to do this.
How did we get there, Chris? Chris's comment. Like, how did you get there?
Yeah, I was looking at that now. Icarus has been putting out some doozies, so I guess he's just trying to keep up with Icarus. And he's doing a fine job, I think.
Semen between the tits. What? Oh, I see.
I never noticed that before. So thank you, Chris, for helping me to pervert my mind a little more.
No, I'm not. Well, wait a minute. What does he want to link?
He doesn't.
Okay. I mean, he's not going to post anything, right? So what the fuck would I give him a wrench? What the hell? Anyway, if I give him a wrench, he'd time me out. You know how he is, right? You know how that guy is. Yeah. How he is. Anyway, God. Yeah, this is a little protein.
What was that? I was wondering what you were.
Yeah, this is
discussed that.
This is the active part of a little protein called ADAR, ADAR, and it changes adenine to something called inosine.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just have to say, John, I think you're the one who's smoking something. We didn't say you did. It was Stupid Whore Energy who mentioned it. What are you smoking?
Yeah, what are you smoking, John? Stop that smoking. Anyway, so it takes adenine, which is up on the upper right, and turns it into
putting shit in your mouth, John.
Turns it into inosine. And the point I wanted to make here is that it's a really complicated protein. I forget how many amino acids it had, somewhere between 750 and 1400. I can't remember which. But the point is that the thing that actually does the converting consists of 4 amino acids: histidine, glutamic acid, and 2 cysteines. And they grab a zinc ion, and this becomes very much like a zinc finger. So this is also related to the zinc fingers that Cell is always talking about. And it only takes this particular arrangement so that somehow this protein folds up those 4 amino acids so that they're in close proximity. And then,
hold on for just a second. I think you're showing your messages up at the top.
What? Oh, shit. God damn it, Rhonda. Stop it.
So nobody look at his messages. Thank you.
Yeah, what the hell is she saying to me? That's the ex-wife. Oh, I can't. Oh, no. Okay, that was awesome. Oh, she's talking about salsa. I think we're good.
Salsa dancing or salsa dip? Or
salsa? No. Brock's salsa jelly beans are... What is she fucking talking about? I have no idea. I'm trying to talk about fucking molecular biology now. Shut the fuck.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Well, thank you anyway, Scott. Okay. So, yeah, that's my Mac screen, and for some reason I can't get notifications to pop up anywhere else. But anyway, the point is that these are just 4 amino acids in, like, with some spacers between them, and it's in such a way that the protein folds them up so that they're together, and they will grab a zinc ion, and it becomes an enzyme. So the point is, it doesn't take a whole lot of random mutation to make this happen, for there to be a new enzyme with a new function. And people think that these molecules are like molecular machines, and they have, like this gigantic blueprint that, gets them to do what they do. That's not the case. These things are ubiquitous. Enzymes or enzymatic activity is ubiquitous in proteins. And so it doesn't really matter. So that's why I put that on the icon, because I thought I'd do a little sciencey thing. But you guys got questions about that, about how easy this is? I mean,
I don't have any questions because I was minding the super chat, or not super chat, the side chat.
Yep. Speed was supposed to email. I was supposed to email Atheist Junior.
I'm trying to get an answer to that.
Oh, I invited him about 6 times and he never showed up. Speed, this is boring. No one cares. Fuck you.
Yeah, that wasn't very nice to say.
Well,
yeah.
No, I always get that from the spatchcocks. They always say if they're falling asleep or else Germania or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, to create an enzyme that has some biological function is fairly easy to do. With mutations and duplications, and that's kind of how evolution happens. There's all of these things laying around that have some chemical activity, and they fall into a network or a pathway, and they end up becoming useful. And so it isn't that big a thing. And I just wanted to point that out because I ran into this. This is the thing that grabs the rest of the protein, grabs zDNA, which is what Cell Cordova was going on about last week. These ADAR proteins. They grab zDNA, which forms because you have too many cytosines and God damn it. I'm losing it, guys.
Well, Stupid Whore Energy has a question. Is zinc a metal hydroxide? No, it's just it could be. It's a zinc ion, so it could be it could be a hydroxide, but we just got the ZN2 plus. That's what gets grabbed by the amino acids, that sort of thing. This avatar that she has is really good for asking questions because it looks like a person asking a real question. It's like, is zinc a metal peroxide? And then it looks like somebody questioning. I don't know why I'm saying this. I'm just damn. So you had this diagram up earlier at the same time you were going over that, who's the guy with the money? He's an engineer and an author, not a scientist.
Throw a link out to Speed, maybe.
Yeah. What was the name of the guy?
A link to what?
Forrest Marshall?
To the stream.
Perry Marshall.
Perry Marshall. Okay. And so that's why I kept asking you if he was a microbiologist type or something, because you had this this diagram out.
Oh no, he's an electrical engineer.
Yeah. So yeah, he's not a scientist. He's just got a lot of money.
Right. The diagram was pretty random. So anyway.
And so obviously he was having discussions about something that was completely out of his field, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is typical of these creationists, right? So I'm wondering if he is a creationist or if he's old Earth or what.
I know he's a believer of some sort.
Right, exactly. We know that, but we don't know which kind, though, right? Yeah.
You know, he got something published in a paper, but I don't know what kind of journal or whatever it was.
Yeah. Oh, Speed mentioned it. What you mentioned that earlier. Speed did. What journal it was? I can't remember which one it was, but
it was something about molecular biology. I'm surprised that he got published in that because the article was pretty bad. I mean, it was like going on about information theory. He thinks he has an important role in this because he's an electrical engineer and he understands Shannon information and basically communication information, right? How we use cell phones and modems to communicate with other human beings. So he thinks he has a big point with this information. And there's a whole bunch of biologists that are really working hard on biosemiotics and information. But like I say, I haven't been impressed with what they've come up with so far. So I'm not entirely sure. Somebody is trying to connect, and I'm not sure who that is.
Atheist Junior is, and I don't know if to let him in or okay. I can see a picture now. So it looks like he's here. Hello, AJ.
Hey, AJ. Finally.
Oh, and on that survey, I voted yes. Keep the goatee.
Yeah, that was good
or something.
Yeah. Can't hear you, but
this is not a joke. We cannot hear you. We want to hear you, but we cannot.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
He's cautioning us to wait a minute.
Try sign language. What? I don't want to do that.
Okay. Now can you hear me?
We can hear you. Welcome aboard once again.
Sorry about that. I was
Not a
saying
problem.
I was kidding, Speed. Please don't be mad at me.
Oh no, I'm not mad at you. I thought you were kidding.
That was that's absolutely beautiful artwork behind you.
Oh, thank you. It's a green screen.
Yeah.
It doesn't look green.
Yeah, I know.
That's kind of a nice piece.
I have new lighting too. I got one of those ring lights. I don't know if you can tell the difference.
Yeah, it's very bright. You're very bright and fluffy
too bright?
today, maybe. You're bright and fluffy. Well,
So what are
very
you?
clear. I mean, you're just very clear because you've got good lighting.
Okay, I can lower it.
So what have you done lately? 5 days ago, you did Busting a Bit of Orange, which I liked.
Yeah, I like that. I watched that too. Yeah.
Honestly, I've just been having the time of my life doing YouTube. I'm having so much fun.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good. You got 4K subscribers almost. So
I know it's crazy.
It's almost 4K now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you
cranking
managed
along. Holy mackerel!
to get Emma Thorne on, I think, twice already, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Well, we did 2 videos together. It was like we filmed one video, and then we split it into 2 parts. And then part 1 was on her channel, and then part 2 was on my channel.
Yeah.
But I haven't had her on again.
She has entertaining stuff.
Yeah, she is. I really like her attitude and approach.
She's funny.
Yeah, she's just adorable. I like her.
I hate to promote violence, but I wish you could punch somebody over the internet. Gur needs a whack.
Gur, yeah.
Yeah. Look at
just like with one of those rubber noodly kind of cool things.
He is just too much.
Yeah.
He goes on and on and on.
Communist.
Well, I was featured on Kent Hovind's channel. They had Raw Matt do a video about me for some reason.
On Kent Hovind's channel?
Yeah. Kent Hovind put it on his actual channel, and I got a huge influx of Kent Hovind fans coming in my comment section and calling me fat and spamming my comments.
So did Raw Matt like do that and then he just restreamed it, or how was that?
I don't know. No, the video just appeared on Kent's channel, and it's like 2 minutes long, and it's narrated by Raw Matt. I don't know the behind the scenes production of it, but I assume him and Matt Powell are in contact. And
yeah,
I'm trying to find that. Let's see. Do you know the name of it?
I don't want to have to listen to it again. It's called The Irony.
The Irony.
But
okay.
Don't play
there
it.
It is.
Okay.
Don't like it?
I don't want to have to listen to it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I do have to go listen to it myself.
But it was Raw Matt, you said, did it.
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they're buddies because they're Raw Matt and Standing for Poop. They're buddies, and they are buddies with Ken Hovind. So
I think Raw Matt is the slave who does all the video work for Standing.
Yeah, supposedly. Yeah, that's what they say.
I'm gonna refresh my browser because you guys are roboting for me for some reason.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
What if everybody's using Chrome? Chrome's been shitty to me for the past week and a half or so.
Yes. Yeah, I've been having trouble with. By the time I get everything fired up, Chrome has become extremely slow lately.
Do you have to use StreamYard on Chrome, or can you use like Firefox or Foxfire, whatever it's called?
Yeah, I could use something else, but I'm not entirely. It's just I don't know. I don't want to learn anything new.
Yeah, you're cutting off learning here, right now.
Yeah, I like everything about Chrome except for lately it's been kind of a pain in the ass, and I'm not sure why.
Is that what that is? Is that what it is?
It might be Chrome.
Speculating.
Yeah. StreamYard isn't all that great either. You're using straight OBS, AJ?
Not right now. I'm not. I'm just using StreamYard.
Using StreamYard. Because if I go to switch, I need to go to straight OBS because I think that'll solve all these echoing problems and everything else. And it's just that I just got to be brave enough to do it. And then I kind of wanted to use Zoom to bring people in. But the problem with Zoom is you don't get to control what the screen looks like exactly. You get to control.
I'm gonna join in another browser because I honestly can't hear shit. Like it's
okay.
I mean, now it sounds okay, but I don't know. Is that happening to me when you guys hear me?
No, we can hear you perfectly.
We can hear you fine. Yeah.
I'm envious of how clear the sound is coming from your little box.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna try that real quick so you can add me again.
Okay.
Oh, you're making browser jokes, please.
Okay, I don't know.
Have some dignity, man.
What Chris posted something else. I wonder what that is.
We'll have to look at that.
It's something with Atheist Junior in it.
Yeah.
Had 3 possibilities.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, AJ's putting out this stuff. He's got to, you got to expect that somebody's going to respond, right? These guys.
What the heck?
So you would think, anyway.
Play this from 1 hour and where was that at? 1 hour and 18 minutes. I lost that.
Which one is?
I'm looking for Chris's. Is AJ obsessed? Was that the one?
Yeah. That's what it says.
Dare I say?
The first.
Oh, that was just that AJ obsessed thing. Is AJ obsessed? We don't know if AJ is obsessed or not. Should we find out? We should find out.
We can ask him.
Wait, what is the video before you play it?
I don't know. What are we looking at here?
Oh, this is okay.
Oh, this is
double AJs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to play that. We're not going to do that.
I don't. It's all it is in the Emma video, there was a part where Kent Hovind says that I don't think about Emma Thorne at all. I don't think about you all the time. Like hardly even preempted. Like, I think we talked about that Kent had made a couple of videos about her, and he was like, "Oh, it's real busy here. Like, you're a low priority, Emma. I don't think about you all the time." And I was just saying that Kent had made 7 videos about her, and or 7 out of 21 videos of his recent videos, and I did the math. I thought it was funny. I was basically making a joke, and they're presenting it as that makes me a hypocrite because I've made plenty of videos about Kent Hovind. And so I should not be accusing Kent Hovind of making lots of videos about Emma. And I made a post saying, hey, I've never hidden the fact that I've made a lot of videos about Kent Hovind.
Right.
And like that's how I've learned to do YouTube, is I make similar videos. And those are the type of videos that I like to watch and I like to make. Like, I've always loved videos of people debunking Kent, like the Potholder 54 videos, Thunderfoot, the old school ones, and then Aaron Ra has done so many good videos like that. I love those videos, and
so what is this accusation of being obsessed? Why is that considered so negative? I'm obsessed with Sal Cordova, with creationists. I mean, I'm obsessed. I don't mind admitting it.
Piece of craps. I mean, are you reading the chat? Apparently, somebody made a comment calling AJ a pedo. Like,
Smokey.
Yeah, there was somebody posting in Standing for Truth's comment section that I was a member of NAMBLA.
You know who it was? Who said that?
It was just some commenter.
Yeah.
And Standing for Truth, he commented. His first comment was something like, "Oh, really? Like, that's sick," or something like that. And then later he commented, "Well, he's innocent until proven guilty." And SFT had emailed me, and he was asking me if I wanted do you want me to set up another debate with you and Kent Hovind? And after I saw that, I sent him an email saying, "You can take your debate and shove it up your fucking ass."
Right.
Because it pissed me off. But I'll just read the community post I wrote. So okay, I'm gonna read it. It says, "I've had a couple people link me the video that was uploaded on Hovind's channel about me, so I'll respond to it here. I fully admit that I've made lots of videos about Kent. If you want to say that means I think about Kent often, that okay, I don't mind. Those are the videos I enjoy watching and making. The difference in this case is that Kent was saying that he didn't think about Emma Thorne at all,
right,
which just seemed like it wasn't true. My ego is not hurt so easily as Hovind seems to be. I find it pretty funny that they chose to bring out the D League of Creationists raw mat to make the video instead of Kent actually responding. And between both videos that me and Emma made together, that's all they respond to. That's pretty weak. It just seems to me that they can't refute the actual science in my videos, so instead they criticize the way I make them or who I make them about. It kind of seems like they want me to stop talking about Kent, doesn't it?" And then I put a kissy face emoji.
Yeah, well, it hurts his feelings when you do a video, I'm sure. It just really goads him, which is good, which is kind of what we want to do. So
yeah, he gets mad.
He is such a piece of trash.
I mean, you saw the last video I've made was about a bit of orange. If you look at the last 5 videos I've made, I've been diversifying who I make videos about. Not because of these people. It was something I was already planning on doing, but it's my channel,
Right.
It's like, Kent Hovind makes a lot of videos about the Bible.
I wanted to go after that bit of orange guy a while back, and I never, and then I forgot about it. But yeah, he is just he is something else.
Who analyzed Bit of Orange recently? There was a video.
That was AJ.
Was that AJ? Okay, it was a good video.
Yeah, it was AJ.
Yeah. The last one I remember was Professor Stick. That was a while ago, though. Did you see the Jeannie Scott debate video I did?
I did. That was like
I was surprised that a lot of people did not know about that video.
Well, I know Kent must have a reason to not talk about it.
Aaron Rod just put out a good. He had Dr. Dan on, and
I'm about halfway through that one. It's really good.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
me and you, Scott, we much watched like the same videos, and at the same or about the same time or whatever. Because that's the second time that's happened. You said I'm about halfway through, and I am too. That's so funny. Yeah, I watched a little bit of it today. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that debate had been on the National Center for Science Education YouTube channel for a long time because it's a really old video. And it's one of my favorite debates against Kent because, he gets trounced. But I got a lot of comments from people saying that they had never seen it before. And I just took that video and I cut out some of the extraneous parts. Like there's like commercial breaks and stuff in there. It's actually interesting listening to some of the old commercials that are on there. But I cut out some of the stuff, some of the filler, and just edited some memes in there and made it a little bit more watchable. And people seem to respond to it really well.
These guys keep saying that natural selection can't produce anything and mutations can't produce anything. And that's why I put up that little piece of protein a little while ago to show you how easy it is for just completely random sequences to produce something. It's very easy to get some sort of biochemical activity in a protein. Proteins just do that. And they keep throwing this out like it's like somehow it's a fucking fact. I mean, where do they get this from?
Yeah, they're weird. They're just weird.
Yeah, that's devolution, not evolution. And and it's even wrong to say those two things together because there's no direction to it.
Yeah, because the production is the allele. A mutation or genetic drift or recombination happens, and then natural selection just says if it's going to get to live to have offspring. So
to Stephanie in the chat, I am not two-faced, and yes, I have debated Kent Hovind.
Yeah,
Stephanie's been like almost. She was almost got spamming the chat. She's been
I have heard that some people got me confused with David Neff. I guess we have a similar voice, but I've debated him before. I don't think there's any point in people continuing to debate Kent because he has already admitted that he's not ever going to accept anything as evidence of evolution.
I don't know why anybody would debate that guy. I mean, he says the same shit over and over again. There's nothing to debate.
I mean, it's because he's so confrontational in his videos. He goads people. He's constantly challenging people to debate him.
Yeah.
It is a way to help get your YouTube channel out there. Like, that's how I discovered Dapper Dino. That's how I discovered Erica. I saw them for the first time debating Kent.
But I mean, I can't listen to his parts of the debate at all. I have to fast forward through them.
Oh,
because he's such an arrogant ass.
Whenever I see a new Hovind debate, I usually just fast forward to the open discussion.
Yeah,
because I think they should cut out the fucking opening statements. Just have open discussion and then Q&A because the opening parts are worthless.
Yeah.
I have this picture of Stupid Whore Energy up, or this comment. Didn't Jeannie Scott invent the term Dwayne Gish Gallop?
Yes, she did.
Okay, so
the term.
Yeah.
Oh, that was her. Cool.
Yeah, she is so far ahead of her time.
Yeah.
Am I sensing something from Stephanie today on you?
Yeah, she's a little. What the hell's wrong with her?
Yeah, what's up with that? Like,
oh, I know what it is.
She's
She
been
has
spamming
not.
the chat like crazy today.
She has not smoked anything today.
Yeah, probably.
She's like a wonderful poet when she gets a little,
Yeah,
she's off of her medication.
Yeah,
off her meds, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
get back on your meds, Stephanie. Gonna have to get rid of you. Cross-examination sucks too.
But,
anyway,
but I love doing YouTube. It's so much fun, and my viewers, they're so supportive of me.
Yeah.
So thank you to all of them. They are awesome, and I love doing live streams and interacting with the people in the chat. It's a lot of fun.
Well, when I was watching you in Austin, Texas, run around looking for camera angles, you were up. I mean, I couldn't even talk to you because you are YouTube. I mean, you are serious about this shit. You work
very focused and energetic,
and it pays off. But I mean, it was kind of amazing to watch you run around looking for the right angle and getting bits of information and interviewing people and stuff that I just don't have the energy. You made me tired just watching you.
Well, I'm still a young buck, so
you're a young buck. Yeah, you made me tired. Made the old man tired. Yeah.
Hello, Randolph. Randolph is in
Randolph.
Randolph, I just want to say I really appreciated your civics lesson and Canadian criminal law, defense law, and everything.
Yeah.
So appreciate that from yesterday.
I would love to come on one of your weird. You have these streams about atheists, Randolph, and you have to join them with Discord. You have to use Discord. Is that how you do it?
You're asking me something? Sorry, I missed that. I was just on the phone.
Yeah,
well, that's
Randolph
where a lot of people go.
He looks like he's on
why.
Cox.
That's why he's doing that.
Yeah, you're really pixelated for some reason. That's why.
I'm playing with a pixelation filter because I want to get into the 80s theme like AJ is here.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Okay. Anyway, I wanted to join your panel about this Convert Me, I'm an Atheist panel. I think you have every week or 2 weeks.
Yeah. So that is that. There's a the organizer of that is named Taco, and we run it every 2 weeks, not every week. It's every fortnight.
Okay.
And so Taco starts off in a Discord stage under the politics Discord. So that's what we have marketed there. It is there's a bunch of us on the panel who answer questions from the audience. People are trying to challenge us to prove that to convince us that a god or a goddess exists.
Right.
Are you wanting to join in the audience or be on the panel?
I'd like to. Well, I am the audience. I mean, I watch them. That's one thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, getting on the panel. Yeah, I thought about joining a couple times, but it looks like you have to be on Discord, right?
Yeah, because it's all running from Discord, so that's how it is to be on there. And I like the Discord stage setup. What I dislike about it is the stage doesn't show video; it's audio only, which to me seems counterintuitive because normally a stage is where you'll have a performance that's both visual and audio, right?
Yeah.
So that's Discord. I don't know why they limit it that way. But the neat thing about the stages is that you can have more than 100 people in the audience, whereas with a regular voice channel, you're limited to 99 maximum.
Yeah. Well, I'd sooner have Putin as a roommate than go on Discord. So.
Yeah, mind you, I imagine Vladimir Putin's probably pretty clean. You're not going to end up with a messy place with him.
Yeah.
Discord is run by furries.
Run by furries? Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I don't have any problem with furries.
I have a problem with the zoophile furries.
What is that?
Oh, you don't want to tell us.
It's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Zoophilia.
It's bad.
Maybe we'll keep this as a family program and leave it at that.
Family-friendly site here.
It's like an R-rated Zootopia.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Trustee Ape Podcast is back with us. Let's see. So what else is going? I think I don't know. I want to shoot her in the head pretty quick. What do you think, guys?
Well, AJ, you're doing really well with your show. Congratulations on all that stuff with the
thank you.
coverage.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's amazing how well you're doing. It's great. I'm very happy for you.
Well, I've just been trying to really work hard this month to put out a lot of content. I'm taking I'm taking a break the next few days just until like March 1st, so it's like a couple days just because I'm trying to avoid getting burnt out, but I spend a lot of time researching videos and getting like I try to change my visuals, like my backgrounds and stuff, and take like I write my notes because I do all my videos live because I really prefer live streaming over doing pre-recorded videos because I hate memorizing lines.
Yeah,
I try to memorize stuff and like do a script to the camera. I have to do like a million takes, and it's just not fun for me. And so it's a lot more enjoyable to do it just live, and that way I also can interact with the chat. And people really like it when I put their comments on the screen. And yeah, the growth has just been more than I ever expected, but it's exciting. And
you're right. Yeah, actually, when you showcase people's comments, it kind of makes you feel like as an audience member that you're part of the whole show, even though it's just your comment showing up. It's nice to get the recognition. Yeah, I can see people liking that. It is. I'm finding that as I'm starting to run some live streams that I'm getting more and more people are interested in my channel now. So live streams seem to be the way to go.
I think it's the future of YouTube, personally.
Yeah. I find I get a better reaction from live streams than I do from premieres. Do you find the same? Like more people watching?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah, pretty much most channels.
Yep.
Yeah, if you want to end it, Speed, I think that's okay.
We want to wrap her up today, and we'll go back.
Hey, thanks, everyone. Thanks, Speed. There's always interesting topics. I was saying earlier, this looks like when you had the diagram on the screen, it looked like a crescent shape. I was thinking this looks like croissant science.
Yes, it does. It does.
Okay,
guys.
Yeah, we tried to throw a little bit of everything out there today.
Yep. Okay, we're going to end her for the day. I'm going to shoot her in the head.
Thank you for the audience. Yeah.
Stay curious.
Goodbye, cruel world. We're out of here.
Nice having everybody in the side chat.
Subscribe to my channel.
Yeah, go to
subscribe to AJ's channel.
Yeah, AJ needs more subscribers. Go to
stay away from GERS.
Stay away from GERS streams.
Yep, those are bad.
Okay. Bye.
Bad.